Hey there friends, I know it's been a while since I posted on my channel, but you know, life happens, I get busy. My family moved last year, so we are settled in now, but you know, we homeschool the kids, so I'm full-time mom and teacher every day, and I just haven't been making videos like I've been in the past. I'm still out there, I'm still crafting, I'm still sharing photos and doing stuff with scrapbook.com, so I'm here, but I would like to keep sharing more video with you guys. So I'm gonna try to shoot some videos of crafting and get them back out on my channel. So if you have any ideas of things that you would like to see on my channel, just leave me a comment down below so maybe I can get some ideas going and some things planned for my channel in the future. Otherwise, I just wanted to hop on here and craft a card. Now I have this set from scrapbook.com. It's really cute, really fun. It's got these fun reindeer characters here, which actually it's one reindeer character with the antlers, but you can dress it up in so many different ways. I really love that tangle of Christmas lights in his antlers, so let's see what we can do with this. Alright, I went and I kind of searched through all my other supplies and I grabbed a few other things that I thought might help me put a card together. I've got this is the Stitch Diagonal Block die. This is like a full-size A2 card die, so it's going to cut a full background and it's going to cut out this, you know, diagonal crisscrossy pattern, and it's going to cut out these squares, so you could actually get two different backgrounds if you use the squares on one and then the diagonal crisscross on the other. I thought it might be kind of fun to layer this crisscrossy type pattern over another pattern paper and then take some of these accessories, maybe the little holly and berries, and put them in between each of these openings and make a fun background that will pop our reindeer up on. And if this is going the way I like, I have something in mind to really make this reindeer head fun and interactive. So let's start on our background and then we'll put together our reindeer. Now I know I want to cut my diagonal design out of solid cardstock and then layer some pattern in the background. Just broke that all up. So I'm going to take this off the backing, which sometimes is a little bit of a pain because this adhesive is so strong to get it off the back, but you just give it a good pull. Sometimes it really does rip up my packaging, but I also have storage envelopes I put these in. So I'm going to set that aside. We've got this die out of the package now. And I think I did find a pattern in this Holly Express that I want to use for this background. It is a pink stripe. I thought that would be really cute. So I'm going to put that behind this. So in front, I want to layer on another color. So I'm going to go in here and see if there's one that coordinates. That's not going to be too overpowering. I kind of don't want it really overpowering. And I want to save some of that green and the red for the holly berries. So you know what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to use a white cardstock, unless maybe this one has a solid in it. I do like that blue, but I don't want to get too many other crazy colors in the background. So I'm going to go with this for the background, but I think I'm also going to grab some white to layer over the top. I have to find my white cardstock. Okay, so here is a piece of just plain white. I am going to layer this together, and since this piece of white cardstock is already cut to the same size as this die, I am going to be careful to line it up on all sides so I get a good cut. Now I'm going to use my Spellbinders machine. This is their Platinum 6, And I also love using this magic mat from scrapbook.com. This is kind of like a self-healing mat. This is what I craft on here also, which just makes sense when you're cutting into it. I use this all the time. As you can see, I have both sides pretty cut up. What I like to do is use one side until it kind of starts to bend, and then I just flip it over and use the other side, and I keep going. Now, Scrapbook is so fun. They make these in different colors and different seasonal ones. So right now I have this mint one, which is really fun. But sometimes they even have Christmas themed ones. So keep your eye out for the different mats. I really like them because when you're cutting into these plastic plates, they can crack and break after a while. And that doesn't happen anymore because I'm cutting into this self-healing mat. So I even went and I got some pretty glitter plates because I know they're not going to crack and break on me, and I can just enjoy them while I die cut. So let's layer this on our magic mat. Put our top plate on and just crank it through. There we go. Move that off to the side. So now in the rest of my video, as I'm doing die cutting, you know what I'm using to die cut off to the side there. I won't always bring my die cutting machine into the camera because you get the idea. You guys know how to die cut. Alright, I'm popping out all of these pieces, which, like I mentioned, you can keep these, you make another background, but I really just wanted this piece. This piece is going to layer over this pink stripe, and I think that's going to be really cute. So this I do have to cut down to my A2 size card. Now, if you're not sure what an A2 size card is, it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now you can make cards in other sizes. You can make a 5 by 7, you can make a slimline or a mini slimline, but I typically work in an A2 size card. It's easy to put into an envelope and send in the mail. If it's not too bulky, you don't have to pay any extra postage, so it's just a really fun size to work with. So I'm just grabbing my paper trimmer here. I think I'm going to cut it this way. I'm going to do the long side at 5 1/2. And then I'm going to turn it this way and do the shorter side for 4 1/4. Now, if I measured that correctly, these should layer together. And there we have the beginning of our background, which I really like. Now, I do always keep my scraps. I have a scrap drawer off to the side. I throw them in, and then when I'm crafting, I can just open that drawer and find little pieces of scrap that I need, especially if I'm doing tiny die cuts. It just makes sense to use these up in other cards. Okay, now before I glue anything down, maybe I'll zoom in for all y'all so you can kind of see. Make sure that my focus is where it needs to be. All right, before I start gluing anything down, I want to get all my pieces and arrange them so I can see what it's gonna look like. I craft a lot by just crafting. I don't always have a plan in mind in the beginning when I start crafting. Sometimes my cards take an unexpected turn, so I try to not glue things down until it's exactly the way I like it, because I might change my mind and want to change something. So we're just going to get our pieces assembled here, and then when we have it where we like it, we'll glue it all down. I was thinking about using this little piece, the holly and berries, and just cutting lots of little pieces to fill in this background and sort of make our own pattern. So I'm going to set this off to the side. We're going to get our little dies and we're going to cut them out. Now, if I look at the back of the package, which is always a good thing to do because they have pictures on what it looks like, I'm looking to see if they have any little berries for the inside of these holly leaves, and I'm not really seeing any. So unless I'm missing it, oh, it's right here. It's right here with this string of lights, so I can go ahead and cut that out. But if they didn't have one, I could always use maybe like a little rhinestone or sequins, or even some pops of color, some little drops to put the berries in the middle. So there's different options that we could do. Now I know I want this to be green, so let's find a green maybe in this set that's going to coordinate. And honestly, I kind of like this bluish green. I don't know if you can see it very well in my camera, but it's a bluish teal kind of green. I like that pastel type look maybe for our card. So let's go ahead and cut out a good number of these holly leaves with this tealish, bluish, greenish, mintish color. Alright, so I have all of my little holly leaves and berries cut out, and I'm placing them on my background, and I think this looks really cute. I think you could even just put a sentiment on top and make it into a Christmas card all by itself. But we want to put our cute little reindeer on top as well. Now I stopped cutting. I know that I have a few spots I could fill in, but I thought this is enough because I'm also going to put an oval in the middle to put our little reindeer head on, so he can kind of stand out from the background and not get lost. So this is enough. I don't have it glued down yet, but we will. First, I want to go to our little reindeer and let's get him assembled. Okay, so I have been working off camera die cutting all of the little pieces for my reindeer, and I'll just walk you through all the pieces and how they go together. This is just the piece that is going to be the string of lights that we will tangle in his antlers, so that's pretty self-explanatory. It's this one down here along with all of these accessories. But to assemble our little reindeer head, we cut out his head shape, and I cut that out in sort of a metallic-y type color. You can't quite tell on the camera, but it is sort of a goldish. It's got a little bit of a shine to it. So I liked that it looked like a little bit of a light brown, but it's got a little bit of a shine, so it really fits with our Christmas card theme. Then I cut out his two little antlers with a bit darker brown cardstock. And all of the little pieces on his face, you can see his mouth here is getting in his eyes. Okay, so this piece here cuts out his nose, eyes, and mouth. So I did cut this out twice. First out of black cardstock, so you could stick with the black nose if you'd like, or I cut it again out of red to give him a red nose because it's Christmas and we're thinking of Rudolph, right? So you can go ahead and do that. There also is this little piece here that will cut out cheeks. So if you want to give this guy or gal rosy cheeks, you can see on here they put some cute little cheeks on these reindeer, but you don't have to. This one has no cheeks, so it's up to you if you're pro cheek or anti cheek, whatever you want to do. This piece here will go inside the ears to give that little inside piece. Now I did think about cutting it out of pink, but we have a lot of pink on the background of our card already, so I went ahead and I cut it out with a little bit of dark brown. Now that is the basic pieces for cutting out your reindeer face. Obviously, you can go ahead and cut out all kinds of different accessories. You can hang some ornaments from his reindeer antlers. You can put a little stocking cap on there or hang some stockings, little headphones or earmuffs, whatever you want them to be, scarf, bows, all kinds of fun things. But we're going to do a tangle of lights. So I did go ahead and cut out that string of lights, and I cut out a bunch of different colors of the light bulbs, which is on this piece here, that we also used for the holly berries. So if you're cutting out red holly berries, keep these little pieces to be your red light bulbs, and then go ahead and cut out some other colors as well. Okay, so I did mention that I also wanted to put an oval on my background. In the middle, I just thought that if we put a frame behind our little reindeer here, it's going to help him stand out from the background and not get lost in all of this busyness. So I'm going to probably just lay this out so I can eyeball it. I'll move around all of those little holly leaves and berries later. And we're going to go ahead and glue our reindeer face together and get him all assembled. So let me grab some glue and let's get this started. So So here's this little oval piece. This goes here on his face to sort of be like his nose and mouth area. That's a little bit clogged, I think. So I'm gonna go grab a different bottle. See if this one works. And I did cut this little oval out of a lighter cardstock. So this is sort of a cream color, and I think that works really well for sticking on all the other little pieces on top of it. I'm going to put just a little dab of glue here on each ear, and then we're going to put the ear pieces in there. That is upside down. There we go. Just kind of adjust that to where we want it to be. Here's the other side. We're going to put his little red nose right on the top of this oval here. And if you're kind of debating whether or where to put all these pieces, I find that it's also really helpful to look at the back of the packaging of all of the die pieces, because they do have picture examples for you, so you can kind of see where they place all the things if you're not quite sure. But you can have, you know, creativity and put them anywhere you want. Also, you can put his little nose down farther. I think it's really cute right on the top of this oval. Alright, we're also going to put his little eyes on here. And each of these eyes has some eyelashes coming off the side. So I want those to be coming off to the side. So I'm going to put those, let's see, which way does this go? Those eyelashes on the outsides of these eyes. Okay, and then his little mouth. So I don't want it too far up by his nose. I think that makes it look a little awkward. Well, maybe not. I don't want it too far down also, because that also looks a little weird. So just get it where you think you might want it. Probably right in the middle. I think it looks the best. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, if I can do this. This is a tiny piece, but I have my little fine tip glue applicator here, so that's going to make it easier. I think probably doing this a hard way. And then just stick that down. Alright, and then for the antlers, I'm just gonna layer them behind his little head here. I think I want to, first of all, put this guy on my little oval and see what the antlers are gonna look like on our card. You can put your antlers straight up, you can angle them. So I want to see what kind of an angle I want to put them at so that they look the best on the card. And they are going to take up a lot of room. So I'm doing this as a portrait type card, not a landscape, so that I have a lot of vertical space for my antlers. But if you want to even put his head at an angle, you'll have a little bit more area for those antlers to spread out. And I'm also using the lights, the string of lights, which also is kind of wide. So I'm going to have his little antlers sort of, you know, angled out so it can hold everything. So knowing that, I'm going to put a little glue on the back of his head, and then just going to gently add our antlers at a wide angle so that he can hold those lights when we're ready to put them on. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this down on my craft mat, and in order to just hold it in place while it dries, we'll put this little dish on top. Alright, so our pieces are coming together. We've got some of these things glued, and I did go ahead off camera and just glue down my background. It It's just the same background that we cut out in all the little pieces. I just put a little glue and placed them all where they needed to go and gave them a second to dry. Now for our little oval, I have some foam adhesive on the back side so I can just pop it in the middle when we're ready. But first, I wanted to show you guys, we have a few holly branches just hanging off the edge here. So I want to go ahead and trim those up, and I want to trim them nice and neat. So I'm going to turn my background over, use a big scissors, line it up with the edge of the cardstock, and just snip it off. This way, using the edge of the cardstock as a guide, I can get a really clean cut, and it's going to be right up against the edge of my background. So there is our background all trimmed and ready to put our cute little reindeer on top. I think I'm going to go ahead and just adhere down our little oval because I know that's where it's going to go, and it'll be all prepped and ready for when our reindeer is ready to be stuck on. So just peeling off the backing paper, these are little foam square pieces from scrapbook.com. They make big rolls of adhesive, but they also make shapes in many different sizes and in squares and circles, so they have lots of options for foam adhesive if you want to add a little dimension. I'm just going to eyeball this, get it lined up, and stick it down right in the center. And our background is ready to go for our reindeer. We just have to get him finished and polished up a little bit before we stick him on top. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and we're going to assemble our string of lights. So I've already cut out all the pieces, and I just wanted to show you guys that the string of lights already has these little squares here that is the top of your light bulb. So the light bulb is actually supposed to go behind these, so it looks like they are sticking out of that string. So I'm going to flip this over and work on the back side, and I'm going to glue the light bulbs on from the back. Now this is going to be really easy. You just have to decide what pattern and what colors you want to put on your string of lights. So I'm going to put a little dot of glue on each spot, and then it's going to be really easy just to pick up those light bulbs with my little pickup tool and add them on. So we have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 6 light bulb spots. Nope, 7. Sorry. We've got 7. And I have 5 colors, but maybe I don't need the pink. So let's just start with one of these red ones. Now I'm gluing from the back, so I'm making sure that my light bulb piece is upside down so that we can see the right side when we turn it over. So I'm just gonna take this, line it up here, and put it into that glue. Make sure it's kind of straight, but even if it's a little wonky, that just adds to the charm of the card. I'm also going to use some of these gold pieces. I think that metallic is going to be really fun. So I'm going to put that one there, and a blue. And I might stick with those 3 colors. So I'm going to put another red here in the middle, another gold, gotta flip it over so that you can get the back side, another blue, and finish it off with one more red. Now we're just going to flip this over, see how it looks. Very cute. And then you can just adjust any of these lights as you want before they completely dry in place. If you need to make sure they're peeking out a little bit more than they are. All right. I really love this tool for all of these tiny little die cuts because it helps you just get them in place, and then with this craft pick side, it helps you just kind of wiggle them into where they need to be. Now when I glue things, and I want them to glue down flat. Sometimes I just take my dish or my heavy stamp block and put them on top so that they can stay as they're drying. So let's just slide this over while we finish up this. Now in the beginning of this video, I did mention that I had an idea for this reindeer to kind of make him fun and interactive, and it's so super simple. We just have one of these like little action wobble things, which is basically a spring that you can put on the back of any of your die cut pieces, and so that when you glue it down, he will wobble around a little bit. So I'll put links down below to everything I'm using if you guys want to check that out. But I thought these action wobblers are really fun. So I'm going to peel off the backing paper because these are actually self-adhesive. And I am going to, let's see, maybe I should put it on this guy first. So I'm going to peel off the backing paper on both sides. However, sometimes I don't always trust that self-adhesive because it can kind of lose some stickiness or not be as sticky as I need it. So sometimes I add a little bit of glue just to make sure it stays in place. So we're going to do that here. And then we're going to put that in the middle of his head back here. And just make sure that's kind of centered. But you're not going to see it, so it doesn't matter if it's completely centered. You just kind of want it in the middle so it wiggles nicely. And I'm going to put a little glue on the back side of this one also. And then we're going to flip him over. Oop, see, it's not sticking. But we'll do it this way. Flip him over and stick it down. Oop. Okay, maybe I want this to go up a little bit. I'm going to put it actually more on the top of his head. That way he's more even. And I'm going to go ahead and use my stamp block and squish that down so that glue can dry and our little action wobbler will be firmly stuck in place. Because I think our string of lights is actually finished. I think the glue is mostly dry because it doesn't take long for a little tiny dab of glue to dry. But before I stick it down, I think I want to give it a little bit more shine. So I'm going to grab one of my glitter markers. Let's see. I have several here, so I'm trying to find one that I've already got started. So this is a glitter brush marker. And I want to start this off to the side. Sometimes you have to give it a little bit of a squeeze to get that glitter liquid going inside. Excuse me. So I like to do that off to the side so that it doesn't all just drip onto my project. So I'm going to take my brush. I'm just going to brush along this string here. And my idea is that as our little reindeer guy is wobbling and moving, that the string of lights hopefully will catch some of the light and sparkle as you look at it. I know it's kind of hard to see the sparkle in the camera, but I promise it's there, and this adds just a really fun touch to a lot of your projects and a lot of your die cutting if you want to add some extra sparkle. Alright, so let's go ahead and see. Look at our little reindeer wobbling. I think that is so fun. Okay, now we just have to see how we want to attach this little string of lights. And I think that is looking so cute. Okay, so I kind of want to just tuck it at an angle on his antlers. So I just need to add a little bit of glue here, and I think around here, and then I'll see if I need to add some more somewhere. Alright, so we want that to dry, so again I'm going to take my stamp block and press it down. let it dry. And then as that's drying, I'm going to put my pin back in my glue. And that pretty much finishes the card. I know I don't have a sentiment on there. Sometimes I finish my cards and then I realize I don't have a sentiment. That's okay. You can always die cut something that says Merry Christmas. Maybe you want to stamp a little Merry Christmas on the side before you put your reindeer on. Or maybe you don't need a sentiment. Maybe somebody will just know that this is a Christmas card. So you can do it different ways if you'd like, but I think this is so cute. I think this reindeer is so fun, especially on that action wobbler. So that is the card. That is the little reindeer face. I hope you guys enjoyed this, walking through a card creation with me. If you have any questions at all, please leave them down below. I'll try to get to them. Or if you want to see anything that I've used today, I have links in the description box. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, tap the bell for notifications if you haven't already, and just do all the things, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!